Or the bottom correctly, but the top, it isn't. Eyelid to eyeball. Okay, so there's some complication here. In order to try to fill out this shape, it gets 3 parts of the ellipse which forms this. One of them connects the eyelid to itself, and then there's one going from the eyelid to the end of the eyeball curve, and one going from the start of the eyeball curve to the eyelid. So it's doing the bottom correctly, meaning, I guess this part? The intersection's on the eyelid, but it also needs to add some part. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the eyelids transparent. Like so. Then I'm going to make the eyeball a different color. Actually, I'm going to make the fill opacity here be 0. And I guess the stroke color black is fine. Yeah, so let's see how this looks. Looks like it's just not adding it at all. The it'd be called the eyelid part, I think. And that's just not there at all. So this is empty initially. Then I do one of these pointwise become partials. I guess I have to see which one. What I'll do, I'll say if, does this have a config imported? It doesn't. I guess I'll just break here unconditionally. I think this should only be triggered twice. Continue the first one, and this is the second one? Nope, this is triggered more than twice. A lot more than twice. Guess that won't work. Yeah, I guess it is called in an updater. Dang. Or is it called in an updater? I actually don't know why that was called so much. If I look through a few of these and then check the stack trace. Oh, there is an updater. So I guess that's just called on each frame no matter what. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to take out the first head entirely. Actually, I'm going to take all of the scene out. Except for where this head comes in. And it seems like it just paused on its own. Put the breakpoint there. a breakpoint there. And now taking the lower part of the ellipse that makes the eyeball, that's fine. And it's growing eyelid part. I guess that makes sense, and it's going into here. Let me look at these. So from 2 to 5, that seems right. Curves 2 through 5 is being added to the eyelid part. And then that's being added to the eyeball. It seems so right. I'm gonna have to just place dots there or something like that. Place dots on those locations. So how can I do that? Yeah, I'll do self. I think this is all just a big V group. I'm gonna self.add. And OpenGL dot. And move that to one of these intersections. Oh, well, it won't be the tuple, right? I'll have to get the point from the tuple of the curve and offset. Is that like point from proportion or something like that? Get num curves, integer interpolate. So I basically want to do this. So curve function, I'm going to get the nth curve of the eyelid. Then I'm going to move the dot to here. And this is going to be eyelid intersection tuples at 0 at 0. This is going to be at 0 at 1. Okay, then I'm going to do that for the second one too. Make both of these ones. And it's pausing. And I'm not sure why it's pausing. Oh, because I'm doing N1. Okay, there's, I guess, the intersections it's finding. Wait, but where are the dots? Oh, it's not even adding them. Ah, the N1. I'm gonna take that off of the shortcut. And from here, So why would there be this many of these? So why would there be this many of these? Why are some of them in lower resolution? That's weird. Should be adding 2 dots for each side, but it's adding 4. Well, okay. I'm gonna make the first one be a different color. So why don't I make the first one red and the second one blue? Okay, so these both aren't where I'd want this to be. But it also... I guess it actually seems right in a sense. If it's going from this red one to that blue one, for example, or this red one to that blue one. But why is this being called twice is one question. Get clipped eyeball. Where's this called? There's an updater called get clipped eyeball. I'm gonna try not adding this updater and see what happens then. In this case, it's only called once. Update clipped eyeball. Just gonna call get clipped eyeball. How can I get the right... Actually, even getting the right part of the eyelid isn't necessarily the problem. You know, it would sort of make sense if one of these was too small. If the order wasn't right anymore. Which I think would actually make sense. I'm going to try just flipping this. And then it works, actually. So let me print the tuples again. Just all of them. And I would expect... Yeah, it's going from high to low, so that's not how it works. So that, I think, makes sense. Eyelid to eyeball, and so are all of these making sense? I think everything except for this one has to make sense. Eyeball intersection tuples. And the eyelid intersection tuples. So I think when I find the intersection tuples, I'm going to want to sort them so that the lower ones are always on the The lower ones always come first. So why don't I wait until, like, get here? So why don't I wait until, like, get here? Then can I just, like, sort them? Here I'm gonna actually break. I guess it's a list. So maybe I can just sort it. Maybe that's it. Although I'm not even sure how to sort in place in Python. Whatever dot sort. Okay. So I get here, I think I just want to do eyeball intersection tuples dot sort and eyelid. Okay, run this. Okay, that one works now. I want to make sure it works for the original one. So fill up has to be to 1. Then I want to get the stroke opacity. Set that to 0 somewhere. I want that to be 1. So close. That's an interesting way to fill it. Am I going to put the first head back in? Let's see how it affected that. Okay. I guess not in a good way. So where was this? Render construct, animating the head. So I guess the sorting did have some effect. But how would it have affected it in a case where it was working before? Gonna take out the second head. Yeah, even the first head is broken. The first head was broken just by this, I guess. Nope, the head was broken by something else. I wonder if it was the dots. I hope so. But at this point, I don't have a ton of hope. Yeah, I guess it was the dots. Okay, let me bring back in the sorting. Okay, that works in the same way. Bring in the second head. Okay, so this is working-ish. Why is this being filled so weirdly? Why would this even happen? Hmm. I wonder if when this gets switched, you also have to switch these other things. Oh no, all of these would be necessarily going from lower to higher now. Oh no, all of these would be necessarily going from lower to higher now. That seems like it's what I'd want it to do. This is tricky. I wonder if it's starting and ending here and the other points are being added in the wrong order. Could that be what's happening? I wonder how I would even check that. Or if it would be filled this way instead of a different way. I'm gonna try commenting out some of these parts and see which part disappears from the eye. Okay. Eyelid to eyeball end. That makes sense. Then the... Oh, wait. Eyeball start to eyeball. Eyeball start to eyelid. Maybe that doesn't make sense. To eyeball end. Why wouldn't this be... Oh, this is the eyeball start to eyelid. This does make sense, actually. This is this eyeball start to the eyelid. So it's going the opposite direction. Then it's doing the eyelid part. Then it needs the eyelid to eyeball end. So this needs to be in a different order. But how could I do this in general? Is it even possible? I wonder. Maybe what I need to do is just... Okay, so I have the sorting already. And I think that's necessary. And all of these parts, I think will be correct. So the eyelid to eyelid. Wait, does this make sense? Yeah, this makes sense. So if these are strictly increasing, then this will go from the eyelid back to the eyelid along the ellipse. And this will go from the eyelid to the end of the eyeball. This will go from the start of the eyeball to the eyelid. It's actually, what was this? Eyelid to eyelid. Oh, I know what these are. This is along the, yeah, I know what this is. So shouldn't there be, so there should be 3 parts. And then there's the eyelid part. Okay, so this all makes sense. What I think we'll have to do and take the lower part. The lower part of the ellipse that makes the eyeball. Is that what this is doing? So do this. So now since these were sorted, this is going to be the correct part of the eyelid no matter what. So then we try to get the clipped eyeball. And we should just start with the eyelid part, I think. So I'm going to take this, start with the eyelid part. So then we're going to want one of the eyeball parts. Either two of them or just one of them. So how to decide? I guess this is the point of this check, right? So let me do this check. So I'm going to take either eyelid to eyeball end and then eyeball end to eyelid, or I'm going to take eyelid to eyelid. So if the bottom is eyelid to eyeball end, then the question is, which of the two? No matter what, I have to make it start at the place where the clipped eyeball, so the eyelid part, ends. This end up being some complicated logic. So here, the eyelid to eyeball end. This means I'm going to be adding eyelid to eyeball end and eyeball start to eyelid. And the question is which one? Which one to start with? So I have to compare the 4 endpoints of all of them. So either, will it require the 4 endpoints? I think it won't actually. I want if eyelid to eyeball end dot data at points at 0. You have to be numpy all close. If this is close to clipped eyeball dot data at points at -1. Then I'm going to add this one first. And that makes sense. Okay. Sounds like clipped eyeball data is going to involve eyelid part data at points. Yeah, I can just do it like this. Eyelid part. Then since this was close, I'll start with this. Now do eyeball start. What was it called? Eyeball start to eyelid? Yeah. Then else